Yo, what up, faithful? It's your boy Ty here. I'm joined with David McNiner. It's the Stay Faithful podcast on a Victory Monday. The vibes are high. David, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm great. You know, we won a game. That's pretty much, a win's a win.
Win's a win, baby.
It's like
it was an ugly win, but it was a win. We'll take it.
Yeah. It wasn't pretty, but it's a win. That's what matters.
It's a win.
It's in the win column.
Exactly. Got to feel good about it. Just real quick, thinking back to last season. This was the type of game that we didn't pull out. We did not get the dub here. We would find a way to lose a game like this. So it's very encouraging to see them go out there and win it. To see the offense go out there and make plays when they needed to be made. The defense to go out there and make plays when it needed to be made, although the defense was making plays all game long. But it's the type of game that builds grit. It builds character, which can help them in the long run. So I thought it was very encouraging from that standpoint.
And I have to agree. I mean, resolve is something we saw yesterday, right? They didn't give up. They kept going. Our backup tight end, who I do like Jake Tongas. Okay?
I do too.
I do. I like the guy. So he caught a Dwight Clark-ish type pass from Brock Purdy in the end zone. And, we went up. But that wasn't the game-winning play, was it?
No, it was not. We had one by Mr. Nicholas John Bosa.
That's right.
It's the type of play that it's the type of play that we want from Nick Bosa. Right? And it's something we said, when he gets those one-on-ones, he's got to win them. And he won that one. It was a straight bull rush, him showing his power, back dude right up into Sam Darnold. It goes down as a sack, fumble, recovery, the trifecta, the hat trick, if you will.
That's right.
It's a beautiful way to end the game, and then our offense comes on the field and they're in victory formation. And there's no better sight than that.
There's really not. And the Seahawks, they knew at that point, I think they were down to one timeout. It's like, we're not going to be able to.
Yeah.
We can stop the clock once, but we're not going to be able to stop this.
You know what? If Pete Carroll was there, he would have called timeout.
He would have.
Because that's just who he is, right? And what he would do to us. Like, it was refreshing to see Ben McDonald, Seahawks coach, just let that thing run out. Like, why call a timeout and delay the inevitable even longer?
That's exactly it, too. And there were, the faithful showed up to this game, which I know a few Seahawks Seahawks fans that aren't very happy about that. They're like, well, back in the day, you had the Legion of Boom and you had Russell Wilson and all this stuff. Now it's Sam Darnold, and I mean, that defense, it honestly did look legit to me. Those guys were playing hard. Either now, over the course of the season, we'll answer this question. I don't think there's a good answer for it now. Either our O-line sucks or their pass rush is good. So, wait a few more games and I'll answer that question.
Well, we get to it. We could get into it. We can start talking about the phases of football here, and we start on the offense. And the offensive line was up and down since you mentioned them. I thought they had times where their pass protection was really good. Hey, what's up? Barry Sports fan, JJ, what's going on? Good old John Jay. There were times they looked good. Brock had protection. He had time to throw. And, he did get the ball out and make some good passes. There were times he had protection and no one was open. He couldn't find an open man and he had to scramble and do things. But there were times where they brought pressures. And, Ben McDonald, he's a good defensive coach. Remember, he was the defensive coordinator of that Baltimore Ravens team that wreaked havoc on us on that Christmas Day game.
What was that? That was 2023, if I remember.
Yeah, it's 2023. Yep. That Christmas Day game. Where they had, I think, 4 interceptions or something like that day, and it was just nuts.
He made an excellent game plan against Kyle Shanahan's offense.
He did. He did. And remember, he was bringing pressures from all over and changing things up. This is that defense. And he did a lot of that on yesterday. He was bringing pressures from multiple places, switching it up. He wasn't complacent. Played a lot of man and was like, we dare you to beat us, right? And at times it worked, and we saw at times it didn't. So that's what he's going to do. So I think the O-line isn't as bad as we thought it was. I think it's just a combination of factors. With the injuries we saw Dominic Pooney get nicked up, and we saw Ben Barch go down. We got to see what this means going forward. Are those just small lingering issues, or will they be something that's going to keep a guy out?
I'm gonna wait till tomorrow because Jennings and Kittle are both going in for MRIs. The Kittle's gonna miss at least a few weeks, though.
Oh yeah, we know it's a hamstring. He's automatically out a few weeks. Once you bring up hamstring, a guy's gone.
So Jennings' shoulder, he's getting an MRI. We'll see. And when it comes to Ben Barch, what's new? This is what's happened to the guy his whole career.
Right. And now they're saying it's a knee sprain, and he's day to day, but big guys with lower leg injuries, it ain't cool. Right. No. There's been no word on
move free ain't gonna fix that.
Exactly. No. And there's no word on Pooney, but you never know. So like you said, we'll wait to see what happens tomorrow when they really can get in there and check these guys out. Yep. And see what's going on for the Wednesday practice.
When it comes report. To Pooney, no news is good news.
Exactly.
Let's just hope, right? But we did make an acquisition. Apparently, I don't know if you've heard about that yet.
We signed wide receiver Kendrick Bourne, I believe.
Yes, and it has a lot to do with. Russell Gage. He was good in the preseason, I guess. Good enough to make the practice squad, but at this point in time, we need, proven-ish wide receivers. Valdez Scantling, he does have experience in this offense, although albeit, different team.
Yeah.
But he's only been with us for a couple weeks.
He's been here a couple of weeks. He doesn't really know, like, the Shanahan system and the verbiage and stuff. So it takes some getting used to. Same with Russell Gage, familiar-ish. He's been there all camp, but at this point in his career, is he the game changer or whatever? So Kendrick Bourne should remember a lot of the offense, or should pick back up with it quickly. And I'm pretty sure Kyle will get him into the rotation, get him out there, especially with Jennings having the shoulder issues. They said it's not bad, but a receiver needs to, lift up his arm.
We'll see because the practice reports will start tomorrow, so that's
exactly. Really... So if he can't even lift up his arm, it's like, hey, what you gonna do? Exactly. So we'll see. But yeah, the O-line looked good. I thought the receivers played well for the most part. Ricky Pearsall
made some plays.
He made plays. He showed you why, Kyle made him the wide receiver number 1 for the final 2 games of the season. He was basically listed as wide receiver 1 on that unofficial depth chart that came out. And you can see the work that him and Brock had done in the offseason has paid off. because their connection is looking pretty good. And he stepped up and made plays all game long. I take my hat off to that guy, because he really made it happen. And when we needed that big play in the fourth quarter, that double move, he got open, beat Tariq Woolen, made it happen. And even before that, when he caught that deep, 7 round to the sideline, shook Tariq Woolen, got him out there. That shows you why Kyle and John drafted him in the first round last year. They like his route running and they like his hands, because he made a really good catch on the sideline too. That was not an easy catch, right? Heading toward the sideline, falling out of bounds, had an arm in his way, concentrated on that thing, and made it happen.
I mean,
Papa J in the house. What's going on, buddy?
And CMC, there's people saying, "Oh, he looks old." Okay, he's going up against a stout defense, number one. And number two, he still had 9 catches for 73 yards.
I don't see how he looked old. The dude looked like himself.
He had over 140 all-purpose yards for the game. What are you guys talking about?
31 touches, 100 all-purpose yards. Remember, all weekend long, fans were freaking out over his alleged injury, the ankle injury, or was it the calf? Whatever injury it was, fans were freaking out. Like, here we go. He's not going to play, blah, blah, blah. And he takes the field, and I didn't see anything wrong with him.
And that's exactly it. We were going up against a very stout defense that was, we're straight up playing the run. Yeah. Right? I mean, what else can you say, but he still carried the ball 22 times, and his calf was a non-issue here. Yeah. Right. And, Brian actually asked a question. Well, I'm getting text messages left and right now.
He's supposed to be in here.
So Brian said he can't jump on because he's working.
Okay.
But he said Brock Purdy 2 interceptions, Jake Moody 2 missed field goals. Well, 2 missed field goal, one missed technically. Who do we cut? Who do we cut point blame? It's like now, didn't Brock Purdy get a batted pass interception too? So it's kind of
no. He had the 2 picks. One wasn't batted. He threw one that was almost intercepted. Like, he almost had 3, but it didn't, it was a drop. That doesn't count. Almost doesn't count.
And so, I look at it like Purdy right now is trying to do too much.
Well,
I mean, look at the weapons he's working with. He's without Kittle. He's without Jennings. He's got Ricky Purcell and the boys, more or less, right? And he's trying to do too much. Maybe he needs to dial it back a step, right? Maybe he does. But this is what coaching's about. They'll watch the tape, they'll see that, and they'll point out you're just trying to do too much, and that's how I look at it. Like, Jake Moody, he missed a 27-yarder. And the second one, I mean, the block, like our kicking team, I'm thinking our kicking team kind of still needs to work on things.
Hell yeah.
One was blocked, right? And we had a miss. So our kicking team still needs to work on things. Our coverage unit and our return game looked way better than last year.
Yeah.
And that's going against a team that's known for good special teams in the Seahawks, right?
Exactly.
So, they still have, out of the 3 phases of special teams, they do still have some work to do.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people are like, oh, that's 6 points off the board. No. Okay. That's not just 6 points off the board. The offense didn't score 2 touchdowns. That's 14 points off the board right there, them not scoring touchdowns. So it's not just 6 points, it's 14 points. And that makes a big difference in the outcome of the game late. Yeah. That puts Sam Darnold in enough of a hole to the point where he's going to make a mistake and throw a pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
you take away the run game. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I see BC, and I saw his question too. This whole blame game, we're in this blame game world. But if we're saying, who had the biggest impact negatively, it's clearly the offense over Jake Moody, right? Because technically Jake Moody missed one kick. He missed the one kick, which is unacceptable. It's a chip shot. He has to make that. And something weird about him with chip shots, especially from the left side. I don't know. But it's on the hash, really. But chip shots, he missed. But he has to make that. It's unreal. But that was his only miss of the day. The block was clearly a block. I've seen plenty of people that are blaming him for a block. I don't see how you blame a kicker for someone on your offensive line, your protection unit, literally falling on his ass.
I'll say the guy's name right now, Matt Hennessy.
It was Matt Hennessy. Yeah, exactly. It was Matt Hennessy. Literally fell on his rear end. Guy got penetration, blocked the kick, and people were blaming the kicker. I don't see how you blame the kicker for that. It makes no sense. So Jake Moody missed his one kick. That's 3 points. David, you talked about the offense. I've said this all along. They need to score touchdowns. Brock Purdy had the 2 interceptions. That can't happen. He was just like throwing the ball up. And I'm with you, doing too much. Instead of just throwing it up like, oh, I see a receiver out there somewhere, throw it away or eat the sack. Play smart football, right? We live to see another down. That's what you need to do. At
that point, you have Ricky Purcell. You don't have Juwan Jennings or, like Jordan Watkins or Jacob Cowing, who he's worked with, during the offseason, right? And the offseason program. You don't have those guys right now. So, it's like Juwan Jennings, if he throws the ball up in his area and Juwan Jennings thinks, oh, crap, I can't get to it, he's going to try to make sure the defensive back can't get to it too. Mm-hmm. But you don't have that cushion right now because you have Ricky Purcell and these other guys that haven't really been here long. We're getting Kendrick Bourne back, although.
Yeah. Wait, but hold on. I want to stay on this topic real quick, but you said they missed 2 touchdowns. It's really 3. When your offense gets into the red zone, they're expected to score. Mm-hmm. They got into the red zone 3 times, and 3 times defaulted to the field goal unit. That's unacceptable. You need to score touchdowns. If we're talking about this being championship team, a championship offense, we got Brock Purdy, who is amongst the elite. He leads in QBR and EPA and all this other crap. And we got all these weapons and, all this stuff. We're supposed to be this championship contending team. When you get into the red zone, you need to score touchdowns.
And, if you think about it, they did kick a field goal. They got the 2, FUBAR ones. So that's actually 21 points that should have been scored, but there were only 3.
Exactly. So when people have this conversation of, oh, Jake Moody is costing the team points, I always say, look at how much points the offense has costed us. And it's way more.
Yeah, that's 18 points,
But people, exactly. If you look at it, really, it's 18 points, 3 touchdowns, 18 points, 3 times 6, 18. That's way more than 1 field goal. So it's like this blame game needs to stop. It definitely does. Like you said, it's an ugly win. It was ugly offensively for sure. Like, we moved the ball, but couldn't score. Like, we scored on our opening possession. We scored a touchdown on our opening possession. The second touchdown came with 1 minute and 34 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. So you basically went a whole game without doing nothing.
Yeah, you score on the first drive.
Yeah.
You kick a field goal somewhere in between, and then you score on the last drive of the game that you have. But you leave 1:34 on the clock, which leaves the Seahawks time to come back and do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it honestly looked like they were gonna until Nick Bosa stepped up and said, "Nope." I mean, I've heard people dog him. Oh, what's he doing? He's only got 9 sacks. Okay, what about the 8 pressures and the 4 tackles for loss? And
exactly
the fact that they're putting 2-3 guys on him, and our other guys aren't getting there. Like, there's a lot more going on than just Nick Bosa isn't getting sacks. There's a lot more than that.
Yeah, I agree with these statements here. That second TD, that was not Joe Montana or Dwight Clark right there. That was.
That's
I'm
why
just throwing it up.
Ish. That's why I said ish earlier.
Yeah. I'm just throwing it up. And thank goodness Tariq Woolen is a sorry cornerback. Because Jake Tondra just took it from him. Like, oh, give me that. I'll take that. Thank you very much.
That's right.
Yeah. But
yeah,
speaking of Brock, he showed up on
the chat. I gotta tell him R.I.P. buddy. That Ravens game last night. R.I.P.
They thought they had it so close. Speaking of Brock, he also showed up on the injury report. He has a injury to his left shoulder and a toe injury. Kyle says the toe injury is much more severe than the shoulder injury, and I would agree. I mean, we've seen a lot of players miss time and heck in their careers because of a toe, especially after playing on turf.
Yeah.
So for a guy like Brock Purdy, who is mobile, he does use his legs, he uses his feet. He likes to scramble in the pocket, also scramble downfield. This could be detrimental to him. We'll see how much it hurts his game. So that's another thing to keep an eye on as the week goes on.
Well, he got hit a few times yesterday, so right now he's feeling banged up. And as the week goes, just keep an eye on the practice report, folks, and we'll see how he's doing.
Yeah, and, it's his first real game. Like, he only played one drive, that preseason game. So he's going to feel it for sure. For sure.
You remember, like in 2023, he played through what? Like, wasn't it like an oblique injury? He had something in his midsection. He's played through injuries.
Yeah.
So if he can tough it out, he's gonna tough it out.
Mm-hmm. He will. He's a tough guy. We know that. He doesn't shy away or miss times because of something small. Like, he wants to be out there. He's gritty like that. So I think he'll be okay. We got to talk about this defense because, forget special teams, forget the offense. This defense, that was some championship-looking defense on display.
They straight stood up. They stood up. They
all game long.
The other two faces backs. It was like it's like Robert Saleh defense. Oh, hey, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's pretty good. That Saleh defense is pretty good, ain't it? We talked about this a couple of weeks ago about the young guys playing and how will they do, and we talked about, hey, we got the perfect guy for the job because Robert Saleh has done this before, and he did it with the 49ers when he first came. Completely overhauled the defense, had a bunch of young guys, worked with them well. Then he did it with the Jets too, because they overhauled things. They had a bunch of young guys, and he worked well with them. And we saw it was on full display yesterday. Defensive line, linebackers, secondary, they were all in tune, all making plays. And it was really good to see. Really good to see. John Jay says, hey, defense was great, and Marquise Siegel had his moments. for a rookie, this dude is above his years. I feel like he's a sure tackler. He defends on the back end. He has a nose for the ball. Like the dude is around. Like we can see him in the 49ers uniform for a long time to come.
And he's also wearing 36, so he's got some, big shoes to fill there from a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. If anybody remembers who number 36 was, put it in the chat. Let's test your knowledge here. Let's see what's going on. Another young player who really stood out was D. Winters. D. Winters, at one point, he looked like Dre Greenlaw. He made a big tackle and like kind of flexed and did an arm pump. And I was like, whoa. It was scary. But he made some big hits, some good short tackles, some good plays.
He was flying around and in position, which is a thing he wasn't last year. He wasn't in position.
Mm-hmm.
So it's honestly, you bring back Salah, he brings in some of his coaches. All of a sudden, the kid has good coaching, and here he comes.
Hey, Levi, why don't you tell me some lottery numbers? Be helpful. Katie says, I told you D. Winters will replace Dre in February. Everyone laughed. They ain't laughing now. But those guys, they stood out. But I think everyone played their role specifically and did it well. Mm-hmm. Like we saw Kalia Davis making plays. We saw Alfred Collins out there moving people. We saw Upton Stout make some plays, even though he had a penalty. It was a bad penalty. That was on what, 4th down or something?
Hey man,
that holding penalty.
All these rookies we have playing, we're gonna get some lumps.
We're gonna get one. And remember, this was his very first game. He didn't play at all in the preseason.
That's right.
This was his very first action. He was going up a vet in Cooper Kupp, which is still no excuse. Like, don't grab the dude. The sideline is your friend. Like, push him, play the ball, do something. But you're going to see that. So I thought he had an up and down game, but overall, good. Renardo Green in his second year, I thought he played well. He got beat on that big pass at the end of the game there that had them down on the 20. But that was big. And he did have that big play that forced the incompletion before that. So I thought a really sound game from him too. But overall, it just looked like championship defense. That was championship defense on full display. And, it's nothing better than see your defense make a game-ending stop. You got to be pumped about that.
That's exactly it, too. That is a championship defense that's going to come through in the end and win the game for you, right? Like in 2019, that type of stuff happened. It was on our defense. They came through. Yeah. So, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Yep. And it's good to see Robert Saleh getting exotic, bringing people from different places. You saw Winters blitz, Fred Warner blitz. You saw guys coming off the edge. It wasn't the same old static thing over and over. Guys dropping back in coverage, playing man. It was beautiful to see. One thing I noticed is they didn't throw much to Diamador Lenoir's way. I think they threw like 2 passes his way the whole game. That was it.
Oh, when your guy's covered,
I know, right?
You're not going to get thrown at, right? Like,
yeah,
that's something I've said a lot. Like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, this guy doesn't get a lot of interceptions." Well, that's because they're not throwing at him because he covers.
Not throwing at him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sticky good coverage. So it'll be interesting to see though, because Jackson Smith and Jigba did make some plays. So if in game 2, which is way down the line, week 18, and their whole roster can change by then, if like Saleh will say, "Hey, Lenoir, follow this guy around the around the field, or switch it up, double team, something. I don't know. It'd be a cool matchup to see, especially since those two were jarring online and everything, having their one-on-one battles. So I'm looking forward to that. But that's like I said, that's way down the line. By then, Renardo Green and Upton Stout may be lockdown corners themselves, and we don't need to follow anyone. So hopefully that's the case. That's best case scenario.
That is the best case scenario. Smith and Jigba is a really good wide receiver, though. The guy. I mean, there's a reason they traded DK and cut Tyler Lockett.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they believe in him big time, and they got Cooper Kupp, and they drafted this young free agent, one young wide receiver. I think his name is Horton, who's like 6'4" and runs 4.3, but I didn't see him at all. Which I didn't care.
I've heard the Seahawks fan base say this guy's supposed to be really good, and it's like
I didn't see him at all yesterday.
He was locked down yesterday. I'll say that right now. You never know as the season goes,
right?
But he was locked down yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't see him at all, and so hey, that's their problem. That is their problem, So week 1 is a win. It's always good to get a win. I don't care how we get it. It's always good to get a win. And, I'd like to see the team just improve offensively, get the ball in the end zone. I know I've been talking about this for a year, since last season, right? Put the ball in the end zone. At some point, they got to make it happen. Especially when you get first and goal from the 8-yard line, you shouldn't see your kicker in that scenario.
No,
it's just unacceptable.
And that's just a known fact. In 2023 we didn't. We did use Robbie Gould every now and again, but we weren't asking him to kick 6 field goals a game.
It's interesting you brought that up because I did some digging, and you said 2023. It's actually 2022. We had Robbie.
Oh, that's right.
Jake Moody was 2023, but in 2022 and 2023, Robbie Gould and Jake Moody, we were kicking in between 1 and 2 field goals a game. The average is like 1.67. So we would kick in between 1 and 2 field goals a game. Last year, that popped. We were kicking 4 or 5 field goals a game.
Yeah,
if you remember, we started off the year last year kicking 6.
Man.
That is not the formula. Like, we shouldn't see our kicker that much. And when people say, why is the kicker so bad? Just ask yourself that question. Why are we seeing the kicker that much? That's the key. The chat is bringing up something funny, and I didn't want to talk about it, but what's going on in Miami with good old Mike McDaniel, our good friend Mike McDaniel. David, you remember not too long ago, people were saying that Kyle Shanahan missed Mike McDaniel and he needed Mike McDaniel. And, our offense would just be bad because Mike McDaniel's gone. You notice how nobody's saying that right now?
No, I do notice how no one's saying that right now.
No one's saying that at all right now. If anything, Mike McDaniel's missing Kyle Shanahan.
Yes, this is a known fact. He does have the sunglasses and the Miami look, but that's about all he's got.
But looks ain't winning games.
No,
and
they got beat by the Colts, which a lot of folks are down on the Colts. My question is, are they really better than everyone's thinking? I mean, again, the season will answer that question, right?
Well, the crazy thing is Daniel Jones, who no one has like any regard for, went out there and looked like the second coming of Joe Montana or somebody.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he lit them up.
Oh,
And
they scored 33 points. I was looking at that like, wow.
And Miami's offense did nothing. They were in danger of getting shut out.
Yeah, this is with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Etienne, the running back. I mean, they had everybody.
Their weapons didn't get hurt during the game.
Nope.
So yeah. We need to switch that narrative up real quick, because they ain't looking good.
No,
they ain't looking good. And if he does get fired, do we really want him back? I don't know. I don't know. Of course, Kyle Shanahan has a soft spot for his old friends, his old coaches. So you may see him back in some assistant. They'll give him some weird title. You know how Kyle is. He loves to give you a title.
See Mike McDaniel with the boombox with the Miami sunglasses.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be the new boombox guy. Assistant head coach of boombox guy. Like, that'd be his title.
Well, so we beat Seattle. We won ugly. A win's a win. A W's in the column book.
Exactly. 1-0 on the record. 1-0 in the division. Road win. All important. Those are all important. So we got to keep it going.
And this next week, it's a throwback to the 90s division rival, the Saints.
Mm-hmm. Good old Saints, exactly. But many forget we're in the NFC West back in the day.
I mean, right now they're in a transition period.
Yeah.
So this is one of those, we should win this game. I'm knocking on wood right now.
That's right. We're going to knock on some wood here because, and I'm glad you brought this up, because we've gone into games with teams who are in transition or have some major injuries, etc., and have laid an egg. We didn't come home with the win. Everyone remembers that famous game against the Cardinals with Colt McCoy starting at quarterback and DeAndre Hopkins being injured. So he really had no receiver. And they came into Levi's and beat us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I unfortunately remember this game.
Yeah. Yeah. We all unfortunately remember that one. So even though they are in transition and don't look good at all, we still got to handle business, right?
Yeah.
It's another road game. It's an NFC West. I'm going back now. An NFC opponent. That stuff matters down the line for tiebreakers and things like that. You got to win in your conference, division first, then conference. So we got to handle business. And I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it because it's the truth. They're not on our level. The Saints are not on the 49ers level. So this should be a game where we should come out and dominate. This is not a division foe that knows us like the Seahawks who play hard. They're not on our level at all. So this is one of those games.
They have old Spencer Rattler starting at quarterback.
Exactly.
It's
other than Alvin Kamara, can you name their weapons? Right? Exactly. Do you see what I mean? Like, this is a game where the defense, so once again, looked like a championship defense. Right? The offense should go out and put their stamp on these things, put their stamp on this game, be dominant, put points on the board. Right? We should see 3-4 touchdowns in this game. And
I would like to see 5 or 6.
I like to see 5 or 6 myself. And Bryant's, good old shout out to Brian Colt, our partner in crime, put this up Mac Jones time. Even if Brock can't go and Mac Jones is out there, we should still put up these numbers. We should still put up these numbers, put up those numbers that we talked about, because we're just that good. They're not on our level, even if we are missing Kittle or Jennings. Like even with Pearsall, CMC, Robinson Jr., who I thought played a good game. I wish he got more reps. I wish they would have given him like 2-3 carries in a row, get him going, get him some power stuff downhill.
Yes.
Because he did break off like 8-yard run, a 9-yard run. He ran with power. So,
well, one thing I didn't see a lot of was like Kyle Shanahan thinking, all right, I'm low on wide receivers. Why don't we just put CMC in the slot? Or, he's still putting the wide receivers out there. And it's like, who's this guy? Huh? Wasn't that guy greeting me at Walmart like 4 weeks ago? Yeah. And I'm sitting there like, I was just watching the game going, it's Ricky Purcell and the boys. Like, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, because he was the only one making plays at one point. Kenny says, hold Brock out in New Orleans. Well, hold Purdy out in New Orleans. We don't need him. But he still needs chemistry with some of these receivers, though.
Papa J, you haven't heard? So he's got like a shoulder thing, which apparently isn't as bad as his toe.
Yeah, it's his left non-throwing shoulder. Something's going on there. But he also hurt his toe.
He took a lot of hits yesterday.
So I think the toe thing is just turf related. I think Kittle's thing is turf related. Like, we don't play on turf. We play on some good grass that's like sent from heaven. It's super soft. It's nice.
I've walked on it. It felt like a golf green. It was like
we walked on it. It's good. It's good stuff.
Right.
That is some good stuff. Let me tell you. That's why the players love it so much. But whenever we play on turf, especially to open the season, remember, this is the first time we've played on turf to open a season since the 2021 season. And that was the year where we played the Lions in Detroit on their turf. And if you remember that game, that was the game that we lost Jason Verrett for the season. First game, tore his ACL on that turf. Dre Greenlaw got hurt on that turf and missed basically the whole season. And in that game, players were dropping like flies. To the point where in the fourth quarter, Kyle put in all the backups, and that's when they started making that comeback, and he had to put starters back on the field.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I do. I remember that.
Yeah. So it seems like opening up a season on turf just doesn't work for us. So
no,
I don't know who we open up against next year, but keep an eye on that. Stupid turf. Get rid of turf.
I think the NFL could do better. How much money you guys make. You can't. I mean, our artificial turf, that's crap. Like, seriously.
Exactly.
You can't put your product on that.
There's a history of players getting hurt on the turf. The one good thing is that with the 2026 Olympics coming up, a lot of these stadiums that will have soccer hosting it will be converting from turf to grass for the Olympics. Lumen's Field is one said stadium. They will be having grass installed instead of turf. The question is, do they stick with it after the Olympics? Remember, grass is maintenance and other things. Will these owners stop being cheap and stick with it? I hope they do. I mean, if they were smart, they would. Like, why go back?
That's exactly it. Why go back? Kenny's saying, get ready to go against Kelvin Banks Jr. It's like, he's still he's good, but he's still a rookie, and he'll be having most of it.
Exactly. So exactly. See. He's going to pick on him. Nick Bosa can choose what side of the line he wants to go to. He'll be there, come back, switch up on him, just wreak havoc all game long. Papa J, isn't it weird that the offense, which Kyle Shanahan runs, is beat up, but the defense, which Robert Saleh runs, is not? What's the common denominator here? I don't think it's anything. Remember, the defense is always ahead of the offense. The defense does hitting, so they're more lathered up and such. They're more physical out the gate. Offense just, they got to get lathered up. They got to build that hit callus. So it's just weird things that happen like that.
That's true.
Banks was perfect in preseason. Every first round Banks are in face he has beaten. I can't wait. All right. Let's see how he holds up against Nicholas John Bosa. That's the matchup to look out for.
Well, that's exactly it. He's only played one NFL game in the regular season so far.
Mm-hmm.
So. Hold on a second.
So, yeah.
Said what? Yeah, I'm not talking about that guy.
Yeah, exactly. we don't do that around these parts. Screw that. Screw that. But yeah,
exactly.
This Sunday was fun. It's good to see the boys back on the field. Good to see them back there out there for an extended time. It's good to see young fellas step up. It's good to see a guy like Jake Tonjes on the crucial drive of the game make 3 big catches on that drive, right? Including the game snatching touchdown catch. That's very cool. Charlie Warner converted a big, was that 3rd and 2 or 4th and 2 that he converted on that drive?
Farrell?
I mean, not Charlie Warner. I mean, Luke Farrell. Sorry, for a little flashback.
It's pretty close to the same player, though.
I know, right? That's why I said that. But he even made a play on the day, So hopefully this continues. Hopefully, like this springboards them into something greater. Facing New Orleans in New Orleans next week. So we'll see. Keep an eye out on practice. That's the main thing for this week, and who practices and who doesn't. David, we got to get out of here, buddy. What you got going on this week?
Well, we got the Pick'em show Wednesday. Corey Davis 49er Wednesday, and it's all coming down to tonight. So we'll see. We'll see who wins week 1. After tonight.
Awesome. Yeah. Everybody, join me, East Coast Red and Gold podcast, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I am Eastern. Yeah. 8 p.m. Eastern. We are chatted up about the game. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Like and subscribe to David's channel. We'll be on his channel next week talking about the Saints game, which will hopefully be a victory Monday. John J, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Thanks for everybody for stopping by. As always, stay faithful. David, take us home.
Hey, as Corey Davis says, go 49ers and F all 31 other teams.
That's right. See you, everybody.
And that's right, Steve-O. Who knows? We don't watch them.
That's right. We down with that.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, screw them.